Hey, this is Scott of Banzai.com. Today I'm going to talk about selling camera equipment. Sometimes you want to sell just a single lens or something that you don't use very often. It's kind of pointless to keep it if you rarely use it. You know, you could spend that money on something more useful, like a lens with a different focal range or larger or smaller aperture. So I'm going to talk about some of the options that I've found in the past, kind of some of the benefits or negatives to them. Of course, you've got eBay, a large place. Sometimes prices go pretty high. That means you'll make a decent amount of money depending on how you advertise it. If you use things, you add like the extra photo feature or something like that. But then you've got eBay fees, you've got PayPal fees, or some other type of money system fees involved. I think you can also sell locally with the eBay, but then your chances of selling the thing are a lot less. Next one is a user forum. For example, Pentax Forums has a nice marketplace. You can sell things on there to pretty much anyone in the world. Negatives is that there is, of course, risk with any type of online sale. You have to use PayPal in that case. There are different forums with different methods, and generally I don't like the risk of selling online that much, so you have to consider that. And you won't have auction fees, but you will still have the fees involved in a transaction unless you do a gift purchase, which is a bad idea in general. You don't want to do that. Although if you're the one selling and the other person wants to do a gift purchase, I guess it's no problem for you, but for the person buying the product, it's good for them to have some type of protection. So from that respect, as a seller, I guess it isn't a problem. But next one is social networks, Facebook, whatever. There are different user groups, maybe some local user groups or things like that. You can just post a message and see if anyone is interested in picking up your stuff. Another negative is that it's local and you're advertising that you have expensive things and it's connected to your personal profile. It's kind of a bad idea in some ways. Next one, you can sell on places like Amazon.com. There are fees involved with that, of course. I haven't personally done that, but that is an option at least. So for local, what I personally decided to do was consign my equipment with a local camera shop. The person defined like how much something was worth, and then they take 20% off of that, and that's what you get. So it is one of the lower things to get, how much money, depending on if you sell yourself, like sell things yourself, you'll get more money, but then there's more risk and all that. But if you have the camera shop sell it for you, you don't spend the time packaging things, buying packaging. In my case, I'm pretty extreme with packaging, so when I do sell online, I double box it. I put all the packing materials that protect it very well. That costs quite a bit of money because I don't store boxes or anything, so I have to actually buy the boxes. And then I always do insurance with shipping. That adds almost double the cost depending on the price of the lens. So you could spend a pretty significant percentage. Not as much as 20%, I wouldn't say, but as I was saying with the camera shop, you can consign things depending on the camera shop if they do that. And my specific one, they take 20% off for themselves, which it's moderately decent because of course they have the time that they have to spend logging all of the stuff into their system, they have to sell it, they have to deal with the customers and all that. So it's pretty reasonable. And also sort of online, sort of local is Craigslist. I had bought a lens once through there and it worked out well. However, I think there's quite a bit of risk with places like Craigslist, because you can get pretty much anyone. I didn't want to list my stuff on there, but that's up to you if you want to try something like that. And the last one would be friends. Generally, I've sold some camera equipment to friends in the past, and I end up selling them the stuff for a lot less than what I could get online. It's easier, but then you have the potential issue of if something goes wrong with the equipment, then they'll come back to you, they're right there. So that's kind of a negative, but if you know your friend isn't the type to do that and they'll just deal with it themselves like I am, if I buy something from a friend, I'm not gonna go back to him and say, hey, it stopped working. I'll just deal with it myself. But that's about the last option that I've come up with. If you know of any other ways, let me know. Like I said, I decided to do consignment on most of my stuff. I also posted a message in the local camera forum group, but that only resulted in one sale, so